I feel betrayed. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I can't even begin to imagine what the actual girls are going through right now. I'm obviously not a member of Vshojo. Never have been. Never been affiliated with them in any way. The most direct interactions I have ever had with Vshojo, I can name 2. The first one I already talked about on stream. It ended up becoming a YouTube video. It's on my channel about how I got to meet Zentreya and Haruka at Anime Frontier. I got to talk about how that was such a powerful and special moment. The fact that I got to meet 2 of my heroes. And I loved seeing how happy they were in Vshojo, how successful they were in Vshojo, and getting to interact with them, getting to talk with them one-on-one, even for just a couple of minutes, was the highlight of my entire Anime Frontier weekend. So that was special. Here's what I haven't talked about publicly. My second, what I'll call, actually not even my second, because strictly on a timeline basis, the meet and greet with Zen and Haru was my second direct interaction with Vshojo. The first was around this time last year, and that is the fact that I auditioned for Vshojo. But I think it was around this time last year, I auditioned for Vshojo because I knew that at this stage in my life and at this stage in my streaming career, if I wanted to make a move to get into an agency, it was going to be now or never. So I put in my audition, and I can say that I did not make it past the first round, only that an audition was submitted. The reason I even decided to make that move is because I wanted so badly to help grow this channel and to grow my community. Yes, for selfish reasons, obviously, but also because I wanted to open this community up to more people that needed a space like this. Somewhere where they could come and just chill and hang out with no prejudice, no judgment of who they are, how they identify, anything like that. Like what they like, what they don't like. I wanted so much to be able to expand this community to more people so more people could have somewhere to go that was like this. And obviously there are plenty of other streamers out there that bring the same kind of vibes that I do. There's so many out there. I like, very selfishly, I wanted it to be mine. And I even said as much in my audition video that I wanted to curate and cultivate a community of love and acceptance and tolerance. And in my head, I was like, what better opportunity am I ever going to get to be able to do that than auditioning for Vshojo? So I took the shot and never heard back, indicating that I did not make it past round 1 of the auditions, because they did put out on their socials, it's like everyone who did pass round 1 were sent emails. I never got one, so I didn't even make it past round 1. You know what? Fair play. It was going to be an astronomical shot for me to even make it past the round 1 auditions, considering how many possibly thousands of people were going to be auditioning as part of that wave of auditions. I didn't make it. Fair play. Nothing changed. I just kept cranking along like I normally do and never mentioned it, because there's no reason to. Knowing what we know now about what has been happening behind the scenes with this company, I can definitively say that me being passed up in round 1 of the auditions was the best case scenario. Now that we are learning that those that did get selected were told they were going to debut around a certain time, and then it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and now those contracts that they signed are now null and void, and Vshojo is effectively gone. Those that made the cut, congratulations, you win absolutely nothing. And I have read posts from people who passed up numerous other opportunities with either other companies or partnerships or whatever, they ended up passing on those opportunities because they had already signed with Vshojo and were set to debut. And those opportunities are gone because they said no, and the thing they said no in favor of is now also gone. That is so messed up that these people dedicated and waited patiently for so long for a goal that they were never going to achieve through no fault of their own. And throughout the day, I saw more and more stories coming through of not only people that had passed the auditions and were set to debut and now never will, or like the numerous artists that did work with Vshojo and haven't been paid, not to mention the talent themselves that haven't been paid. Last night, I was mentally kind of sitting back with the bucket of popcorn, just kind of watching everything go up in flames and fall apart. But then throughout the day today, as more and more stuff came to light, as more and more details were made known, it finally began to sink in just how fucked up this whole situation is. And my breaking point, and what finally made me decide to actually want to talk about this, is I learned that there was one person in particular that was directly affected by all of this shit happening. I will not say who they are. I will not say to what degree they were affected, because they themselves have not said anything publicly. Their story is theirs to tell, and I will let them be the ones to tell it. Hey guys, Future Reach here. So I can now confirm that the person I'm talking about here is Phoebe-chan, who is a former member of Shirayuri Productions, a agency that I became very familiar with over the past few years. I'm not going to retell her story here. I am instead going to link her video in the description of this one, and I highly encourage y'all to please go and check it out and also show her your support, because she absolutely deserves it. But what I can say is when I learned that this person in particular was directly affected by this shit, I actually became, like, livid. This whole situation, this just got personal. Learning that this person was directly affected actually made me angry. And it was at that point I was like, okay, you know what? I can't keep this bottled up. I need to talk about this. Over the years, and if you've been around me long enough, you know this, I have praised and defended Vshojo so many times for being a talent-first agency, for taking care of their talent, for enabling them to be creative and explore new horizons, for being accepting, for being tolerant. Now for just all of this shit to happen. Shit that apparently has been happening since, at the very least, September of last year is how long it's been since some of the talent haven't been paid by the company, that they've had funds withheld with no communication other than the payments are on their way. Like, they're coming. They never came. And then, of course, you factor into the mix the $500,000, $500,000 raised during Ironmouse's subathon last year that was intended to be donated through Vshojo to protect Mouse's anonymity to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. That was the whole reason that even happened. Mouse held her subathon, her historic subathon. Throughout that subathon, raised a grand total of, through subs and bits and all that, raised a total of $500,000 that was then supposed to be donated to the Immune Deficiency Foundation, with Vshojo as the mediator to help protect Mouse's anonymity. The donation was never made. $500,000 just went missing. Just like that. Talk about an astronomical, an apocalyptic breach of trust. To not only not pay your talents, but then to have $500,000 that was intended for fucking charity to go missing, I feel betrayed. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I can't even begin to imagine what the actual girls are going through right now. Whatever I'm feeling is like a single drop of water compared to the absolute tsunami of emotions they're probably experiencing right now. And I feel fucking betrayed. I defended this company. I praised this company for years, only for them to turn around and do this. I feel like a goddamn fool. When Motendu left, that was surprising, but in my mind, I wrote it off as, oh, like one of the co-founders of the company left. Oh, he probably just got like a much better business opportunity to go doing something else. Like, hell yeah, King, go get that bag. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And then Matara got let go. There's the first red flag. Why would they just let one of their most popular and most lovable talents just go like that? This is followed almost immediately by Zentreya and Giga leaving the company. Now I am immensely suspicious that something is wrong. Giga is an extremely business-oriented person. She does not make decisions like that on a whim. She would not have left Vshojo unless there was a damn good reason. On the other side of that, you have Zentreya, one of the fucking pillars of the company, walked out. I tried so hard to remain optimistic that there's some changes happening, that maybe it's a disagreement of creative direction or something like that, that they feel they might be better off going independent, and that was it, and that whatever was going on would be course corrected, and that would be the end of it. And then, about 25 hours ago now, Ironmouse posted her video stating that she was leaving Vshojo and explaining as best as she could her reasons why. Within the next 24 hours, every single member of Vshojo walked out. All of them. And it's still kind of processing in my mind that we just witnessed the literal overnight collapse and implosion of a big three agency. And if any of them were going to go out, I did not think that Vshojo was going to be the first. I did not think that they were going to be the first one to go. After everything that went down in February of last year, I had every reason to believe that Niji Sanjay was going to be the one to collapse. Don't get me wrong, Niji took a massive black eye to their reputation that honestly, if I'm being honest, still hasn't fully healed. Like, that they took a permanent hit to their credibility and their reputation after everything that went down last February in 2024. So they took a massive hit that I don't think they will ever fully recover from, but they recovered from enough to stay standing. They staggered, but they did not fall. Vshojo has literally completely collapsed. Yes, you could argue that it wasn't like everything was fine to everything is fucked, because that's not the case at all. We know that there's been trouble since at least past September. Apparently there have been issues dating all the way back to the year 2023, when a handful of the founding talent left. So the cracks were definitely there and have been for a very long time, but they were holding together. But Mouse's video was the final blow that brought the whole fucking house down. And now the company has nothing. There's no talent left. And I am so glad that I was not successful in my audition, because if I had been, there's a chance I would have made it far enough to get caught up in all this shit directly. And I am so glad that that is not the case, that I don't have to deal with this shit, because I can't even begin to imagine how the girls are feeling and what they're going through right now, and how they're even attempting to process all of this. Because I'm not even exaggerating when I say if I were in their shoes and this was happening, I would probably need to have myself committed for a bit. It would have fucked with me that badly mentally. It's been very upsetting to see things play out the way they have been over the past 24 hours. But then, yeah, like, learning that this one particular individual was also directly affected, that actually made me angry. Because it's like, okay, no, like, it's like, this is actually fucking personal for me now. A year without Reach while we waited for a debut that never came would have been the worst time. I promise y'all, and I will make this vow to you here and now. Because like y'all heard me say earlier, that the only reason I even auditioned for Vshojo when I did is because at this stage in my streaming career, if I was going to take a shot at making it into an agency, that was it. I can make y'all this vow right here, right now. I am never signing with an agency. Ever. I will stay me. I will stay independent. Because I love doing whatever the fuck I want. Playing games and collabing with whoever the fuck I want. And keeping, minus Twitch's share, 100% of my Twitch revenue. Thank you very much. I guess this is an extremely roundabout and convoluted way of me trying to say that the events of the past 24 hours have made me realize just how fucking good I have it. As a tiny little indie in her own little corner of the internet with a community that I have worked to cultivate and grow for the past 12 years, that I wouldn't trade this for the world. I wish nothing but the best for all of the Vshojo talent. I hope that they can find resolution to everything that they have been going through. And I hope they continue to find even more success in the coming days and months. Out of the ashes of this absolute fuckery, they will rise and they will grow stronger, both in themselves and with each other. Honestly, at this point, I think I've said all that I can say. Just TLDR, I fucking love you guys so much. And regardless of how much longer I stay active in streaming, I will not be streaming as anyone else but me. Of that, you have my word.